What is good, guys? This is Charles from Team COG coming back at you here with another point of view. And you guys just witnessed me rolling double sixes boxcars. That is a great feeling. To a 6, he rolled a 6. And today it's going to be Infernoble versus Kashtira. And I'm trying these new point of view. I just have some gray skies. Like as time goes on, these are going to get a little bit better just because of the angling and the setup and stuff like that. This was literally my first time trying it. But actually, this hand we opened here is Reinforce the Army. And I decided to fire off Rhoda. And the reason I decided to fire off Rhoda here is because of fear of Droll. I had to get access to a level 4, and otherwise you always start with Museum. But he ashes Reinforce the Army, which is kind of interesting, but you guys are going to see a cool play here, which shout out to Scar, who's in my Discord, who pointed this out. Flint Lady is an amazing way to get to your uppercutter combo, essentially, when you pair Flint Lady off with Museum, because we're going to normal summon equip Durandal, search the uppercutter, use Flint Ladies to tribute, or send herself to special summon the uppercutter, and then we're just off to the races now, which is pretty remarkable. So we pretty much beat one Ash here. And I don't know, man. Reinforce the Army is at 1, so it's a solid 1 of hit. I mean, I don't think I'd ever hit Rhoda, but if you only have one form of interaction, it is what it is. And sometimes, man, people fire it off like that one. Some hands, man, you need that one search to go through, right? Your hand is just not good, and we summon Ibsold here. Ibsold is going to grab a Succession, and then when she is linked off to Makita, she's going to summon out Beckon. But again, you guys kind of need that one search, and sometimes just one wrong time hand trap is just not that good. But we're going to go ahead and use Hida to reborn out the Ash, and we're going to go ahead and use Succession to bring back out the Ib. We're going to Synchro into Power Tool Braver, which I normally hate using Braver to link off with it, just because it isn't monster effect negation and stuff like that. However, my mindset has just changed to this card is literally Turbulence, but for equip spells. But we're going to go ahead and use the, the Joyous to go ahead and grab herself the Spar. We're going to go ahead and go into the Princess. We're going to go ahead and use the Princess to bring back out the Uppercutter, and then we're going to go ahead and special summon out the Spar. Locked into Fires, detach for Spar, the Banshee to go ahead and grab us Popular to go ahead and summon itself, to go ahead and grab us the original Sinful Spoil. So this card is just literally 1 for 1 for the deck, which is kind of crazy, but it's all right. We're gonna go OSS, go ahead and sending off the Princess. I think halfway through my thought process, I was trying to, I think I wanted to use the Power Tool to negate the Princess to make a 2 Material Appaloosa, but I guess I lost my line of thinking there. But anyway, we're just going to go ahead and make Angelica, grab another copy of the field spell, which that means we just get an additional Charles here, which should end up being pretty nice. But we're going to go ahead and use Roland to open Roland, which means we're going to get access to that all-important Angel Ring. And the reason I believe Angel Ring should be main decked is just because a lot of decks are main decking Super Poly, and you just don't want your board to be cracked by Super Poly. And it's very similar to back when it first came out. Board breakers were such a thing, like droplets and everything. So so we're going to go ahead and equip the Ogier, move it forward, dump the Gearfried, make Charles, link Charles into Charlemagne to go ahead and attach here, link Crow into SP Little Knight here, and then we're going to go ahead and activate the second field spell here to go ahead and search yourself Almus, and then we can move up Charles here, equipping the Almus, link off into second Charles, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 to go ahead and equip Charles and grab back the Gearfried, banishing for Gearfried to go ahead and summon out. And then this is our end board, and it's pretty much, it's going to end up being a spell negate, 2 spell and trap negates, a pop, which is 4 disruptions, and then 2 monster effect negations, which is 5, 6. So it's a crazy board, dude. Crazy. There's literally no way. I cannot imagine him beating this board here. And I've started to go for Malgus a lot more instead of going for when I get to end on double Charles, I go for Malgus over Oliver, just because one Charles negating, trading it for an end perm's okay, because we're going to be able to negate it and get a draw, so it's I stop your end perm. But he's going to special summon out this Kashtira Kashtira Ogre, and searches the trap. I think this is pure Kashtira, to be honest with you. He does a lot of rank 7 shenanigans and stuff like that. I don't think this is this might be the decode version, but he's going to special summon out Pank. And Pank is such an old card, I kind of forgot that. I thought Pank was you had to control no monsters, but it's just your opponent has to control more than you. And right here I'm calculating, okay, so he's going to use the Pank to attempt to battle over something, tribute to pop, and I'm going to have to negate it, which is okay, because the only thing he can really attack over is the SP Little Knight. And that's one thing about SP Little Knight that I kind of don't like, which, I mean, I get it, in this variant of the deck, you can't, the same bodies you make SP Little Knight with aren't, 2 level 4s to make, Gandiva or something. They're just literally Banshee and the Popular. But he's going to link into the Vortex Dragon, or the Absolute Dragon, link it off to a Gravity Controller, And I know this summons out something big, or this summons out like an Odd Eyes monster, so I go ahead and negate that with Gearfried, sending off the Malgus to target 3, and then use Malgus Shuffle back for cost to draw a card, which right now, like, in terms of card advantage, like, I think I have more disruptions than he does, like, cards in hand. So it's like, there's no way he can beat this. There's, like, if he beats this, like, his hand's, like, insane, because we still have an Angel Ring to stop something. I know that the deck can play Birth, so like I know my Charles disruption has to be, one of my Charleses has to hit Birth, otherwise the ring's just wasted. But he's going to normal summon Rise Heart here. I attempt to use the effect, and I really don't have much of an option here. I know if I remove it with like SP and just special summon like Fidner or something from hand, you know. So I decide to use the Power Tool Braver to go ahead and send an equip to it to target and negate its effects. And then Power Tool Braver is pretty okay to like leave up on the field if you like go through some Apollosa lines, because like if you like 2 Material Apollosis is like what's common and it's just easy to attack over, but Power Tool Braver allows you to either negate an effect or switch something to defense, so it's just another way to protect your Apollosa, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, right now he's trying to calculate, you know, how many more disruptions he has to play through, and I'm telling him you have to play through two spell and trap negates, a spell negate, and a pop, and a banish with SP. And he's going to go ahead and fire off Tactics, which I'm waiting to see what I let Ring hit the Tactics. And I do this, I let Ring hit the Tactics because, probably a bad part, probably shouldn't have done it, but Ring hit it because then my Charles just can like send the Ring, and then during the end phase, like one of the Charleses can pick it back up, making the spell and trap negate alive again. But we're going to go ahead and fire off Roland here. Roland, he attempts to go to the battle phase. So I go ahead and use Charles to pop out the Gravity Controller. I looked at Gravity Controller and I didn't read anything until I realized the card's literally going to be able to bounce Charles. It's going to bounce something out, so I should have popped the Gravity Controller, leaving that Rise Heart on the field instead. But, you know, hindsight's like 20/20. But he's going to set one card, and he's going to go ahead and pass turn. In phase, Charles is going to activate equipping a Durandal from Grave and grab an Oliver from the main deck. And then we're going to draw for turn. And then there's no point in even, like, playing around here. We're just going to switch Angelica to the offensive, and we're just going to go ahead and swing in for game, because this is over lethal, because he died somewhere between the Power Tool and the Gearfried attacking. But anyway, we're going to go on into our side deck. So this is Kashtira. I am totally scared of Shifter. Shifter is literally terrifying, and I do believe I make I don't side correctly here. I hope I don't take out. I do. I'm watching myself do it. My siding patterns are ingrained in my hand. I should not take out Tactics here, just because if he does have Shifter, at least I can like rip one more additional card from his hand, and then maybe attempt to put up something, so it just puts him on less cards. But I do it anyway. And as I'm going second, I take out. Since I'm going second, I take out the Roland and the Angel Ring and stuff like that, because the cards are just bricks when going second. Not really Roland. Roland's actually really good. I actually sometimes miss having Roland in the main deck, because you can search it like with the Durandal, trigger your Angelica, and then like get an in-phase search and all this type of stuff. So sometimes I miss it, but in this scenario, in my mindset with my siding patterns, the Roland is just part of the Angel Ring stuff, so like it just needs to come out. Now, with that being said, if we get to a format where like something like targeting stuff becomes crazy, like we can start. Roland's just really flexible, because you can get access to like any equip spells, like Metal Silver Armor. If like Kaiju's and like tributing stuff becomes like prominent, we can get like something like Dust on Mop. So I open Ash. So my hand's actually not too bad. It's Ash, Droll, Popular, Heritage of the Chalice, and the Field Spell. So he's going to summon out the Unicorn to add the Birth. I'm going to go ahead and Droll here. And opening Popular is honestly not the best. But he flaps him with the Call by the Grave. Ugh, which is awful. So I don't know why I was thinking. I don't even know if I'm pretty sure Kashtira still. I was trying to hold Ash for possibly the Shangri-La. Shangri-La came up, but I think he stops here. I think he's scared of Nib. So he activates Rise Heart. Rise Heart goes through, and he uses Birth to bring back Ogre. Ogre. Now, see, if I knew. Well, Ogre really didn't do a lot, to be honest with you. So this Droll would have gone deep, but you know, when they have Call by the Grave, they got Call by the Grave. So it is what it is. But my hand opening Popular is kind of like similar to opening a Coltwing back in the day, right? So like, if you guys remember, if you open Coltwing, you could still combo, because you still had access to like the Death Spot stuff. So like, we still, like, as long as we get access to Ib and stuff like that, we draw a Droll for turn, which sucks, but it is what it is. I believe we should fire off the field. Like, my hand, like, so this is interesting, right? So 9 times out of 10, you lead with the field spell because the field spell is important to resolve. But, like, as you guys can see, I have no level 4s or anything in my hand, so Heritage is kind of nice, because... But, like, regardless, right, if he counters me with Droll in any of my searches, I still lose. So right here, I believe I go with the Durandal, and I think I try to fetch for Red Layer, because I feel like Red Layer is going to put a body on the field. And sadly, Red Layer, I think, is big enough to exchange with the Fenrir, I believe. I'm not too fluent. I can't remember the attacks right off the top of my head, but I think it's big enough to... With Museum, the Red Layer is big enough to exchange with Fenrir. Maybe not. I think Fenrir's 28, actually. But we don't... But we end up searching out Ogier, which is an interesting call. So he's going to activate the Unicorn here to look at my extra deck. And he decides to go for, like, literally not Angelic or anything, which is... Like, I don't know if it was just a confident thing, or if he truly didn't know what to hit, but he goes for Typhon, which I've taken Typhon out, man. Like, Typhon I've made Typhon once in its entire history, whereas, like, in countless hours of my testing, I have really needed, really, truly needed the Ambo Whale to come up, because, like, sometimes your hands are bad, sometimes you get hand trapped enough, and you can make Hida, but you can't get access to anything else. Well, at least by, like, playing Flambeau Whale, you can get access to something. But that's just my turn. That's just my experience. So we end up normal summon out Popular, and we're gonna banish 3, 4, 5. He's gonna use Ogre. He hits my Renault. These go back on top of the deck in the order in which they were excavated, which is pretty cool. Just banishing like a lot of my cards, a lot of my strategies and stuff like that. So I have access to. I don't know why I did this, to be honest with you. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I can see now, hypothetically sitting out, I go Heritage of Chalice, grab Ricardetto, use Ricardetto to summon out Ogier, Ogier dump, Ogier is a tuner, Ogier and Popular go into Angelica, and that, like, we got combo that route, but I don't know if, like, that's, like, what I'm seeing now. Maybe I decide to get greedy and go for the... Nope, I do go for Ricardetto. Ricardetto's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that Ricardetto's flexible, too. Like, it's not just a break in your hand. So I banish Ricardetto to special from special. Special out the Ogier. Ogier effect to send. And I still have OSS. We go ahead and send Turpin here. And then Turpin's just because, like... because I can still use the field spell. So he's going to banish the Ogier, which is okay. And we're going to go ahead and go into... Actually, you get to see this come up here. Actually, give the whole Typhon thing I just went on about. You get to see that come up here. Given, I don't know if that would have mattered. Because, like, if he hits Typhon, he'd hit the Princess too, which would have stopped me from doing the Flame. But we're going to go OSS to go ahead and send off... to summon out Renault from the deck, I believe. I don't know. I think that this... I mean, I still have to go through... a Birth Banish too. I think that maybe there's just so much stuff going on. Like, given, like, the only thing I had to really worry about was Fenrir's spot removal, and maybe the Unicorn hitting Angelica. But we're gonna go here and we're gonna use Museum to move up the Turpin. He's gonna use Birth to go ahead and hit those 3. Surprisingly, he didn't use Birth earlier. We're gonna go ahead and make Hida. We're gonna go ahead and use Hida's effect to go ahead and equip here, special summon out. Oh, he doesn't have a fire in the grave, so I have to use my Turpin here. Turpin should be banished here, for sure. Make the Princess. All of them are pretty huge, too, so we're going to go ahead and use the Princess to bring out Hita, which, again, I don't know if there was another option I could have brought out. Like, Turpin should be gone, so right here is a prime example. So right here I have to pass on this. Whereas if I had Flambeau Whale, I could, like, go into Flambeau Whale, and then, like, I'd still have something. Given, at this point, he just really has to go to attack mode and stuff like that. But Flambeau Whale, I think, gets, like, 200 attack for each Link monster, so Flambeau's pretty big. But he could just banish the whale with the Fenrir, so, like, no matter, regardless of this situation, the Flambeau Whale is just too good. Like, the 2 Flambeau Whale wouldn't do enough in this situation. But if you remove, like, the deck I'm playing against, he goes absolute to summon out this thing. This thing is literally a rank 7 that you can smack another one on that can attack up to 3 times, which is more than enough to get me for game here. and those hand traps are just sitting dead in my hand. So we just wrap it up, and we just go on into the next important game here. But that's kind of cool. That I didn't know if it's a common thing that Kashtira players are doing. I didn't know if like they're actively putting in the odd eye stuff, because that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, being able to just rank 7. I know that at one point they were using the Raid Raptor card, the Arsenal Falcon, which is really interesting. Make an Arsenal Falcon, then link it off, and then you get like the towers, the big giant Falcon. What's his name? Oh my goodness, my buddy just picked up Raid Raptors too, so I should remember. It's like Ultimate Falcon, I think. So many Falcons, so many birds. Which is a cool deck, and actually I hope to feature that on the channel here soon, some Raid Raptor stuff, because I think that deck is being slept on. However, I know that the majority play the pure variant with Fuzzy, and I kind of would like to play like the more combo-heavy variant, which you play like Rusty Bardiche and stuff like that, just because it makes the ceiling higher. And I think it makes it a little bit more prone to hand traps and stuff, but that's okay. So we get to go into that all-important game number 3, where I get to go first, and I'm going to draw my 5 cards. I can open Call by the Grave, Heritage Chalice, and Museum. I think this is one of those things where Chalice has to resolve. But I'm going to activate Heritage of the Chalice. He's going to frame 1, Ash that, and then we're going to Call by the Grave it. I said earlier in the video, sometimes you open these hands that one hand trap doesn't do anything to, but sometimes you open them where one hand trap will end your turn. And but we get to go ahead and abuse this tactics here to look at his hand. So we see he has a double Imperm. So this is manageable. Like, this is 1 Imperm is super manageable. So we already know 1 Imperm is getting shuffled back. It don't matter. Like, we're just going to go ahead and rather play through 1. If my hand was a little bit stronger, I mean, maybe this hand could beat 2 Imperms, so I shuffle back something like Fenrir. But, like, so I normally summon Ogier and use the effect, and he just hits Ogier with Imperm as well. And I'm like, oh, well, we're off it now. Like, we're going places. We go equipped Durandal, grab Durandal with Museum, equip Durandal effect. We probably should just go ahead and grab Renault. And so the good thing is we already opened the Gear Free, so it didn't matter if this Ogier resolved or not. So we go ahead and make the Angelica to grab another Museum. And since we know what his hand is, it's just free real estate. It's just, yeah. We get to just go off and do whatever we want to do here. And we're going to be able to put up, like, more interactions than he has cards in hands, because, like, he pretty much has 2 cards in hand. We know they're monsters. Gearfried will be able to negate 1. Charles will be able to pop another. If he draws a spell or anything like that, like, Charles will get it or Ring will get it. So, like, we go here, equipped, and then we go ahead and special summon out Gearfried, banishing here. We activate the second Museum to go ahead and grab ourselves an Almas, which is going to give us some follow-up. Museum move forward, equipped, link down, make our second Charlemagne equipped. Almas should be grabbing back. We forget the Almas grab back. Oh, no. But that's okay. We move to end phase, resolve Roland to go ahead and grab that. And we equipped Oliver from deck, so it puts us on... Again, probably should grab Malgus here. I can't believe I forgot that Almas had back. So he special summons out Fenrir. He's going to use Fenrir's effect, and I'm thinking that's fine. Because, like, whatever he grabs, like, he already has the Rise Heart, so, like, whatever he grabs, like, he can't summon, and if he, like, can keep, like, it's fine. So, he just has 2 cards in his hand that I know, 1 unknown. I'm not entirely worried about it here. He special summoned out the Rise Heart. He's going to go ahead and use the Rise Heart's effect. I'm thinking, that's fine. You know, the worst case, he's going to try to go to battle phase to try to out something, and I'm just going to stop it with Gearfried. So we're going to be pretty okay here. That Rise Heart's not doing anything, but he's going to overlay. He's going to go ahead and overlay, and I think I see the logic behind it here. You overlay to this Absolute Dragon, right? And you link it off into the Gravity Controller, and then if it resolves, you get a big monster, but if it doesn't... But he ends up making Big Eye here. Welcome to 2011, I think. Big Eye effect, he's going to attempt to target. I was like, I hope you target Angelica, man. Please target Angelica. He goes ahead and targets Gearfried, but we're going to use Gearfried's effect to go ahead and send off Charles, which sometimes I never really like doing to send off Charles, because I felt as though, like, you lose a powerful follow-up with Charles that way, but with Promethean Princess existing, you literally could just link it and bring it back Charles, so, like, it's alright. So we're going to go ahead and remove the Big Guy, which is going to allow him to special summon out the Unicorn. Unicorn's going to grab Theosis. He's going to attempt to activate Theosis, I believe, and then we're just going to go ahead and let Ring get Theosis. He's going to activate Birth, and then we're going to use Charles' effect, sending the Ring to negate the Birth. And he, at any moment, he could have Unicorned me, I believe, but it wouldn't have done anything at this point. Like, we've already gone through our combos and stuff. at this point, time is getting pretty close in the round as well. So we're just, he was trying to figure out if there's anything else he can do. And sadly, there's not. So he ends up passing it over to me, which is really going to be okay. We're going to go ahead and equip during the end phase. Charles will pick up that. Charles will use his pop effect to pop the unicorn. We get Malgus and Angel Ring back. So then we just draw. We don't even, no point in fooling around. We go to battle phase and swing in. And that is game.